How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Kick Talk episode. What episode is this, Andrew?
It's like fucking 23, man.
Shit.
23. We've been cooking these, man.
It's only a whole half year.
Yeah, man. It's like we're doing volumes at this point now. You know what I'm saying? Like we could put out an entire box set of Kick Talk. Yeah. What's up, chat?
Yeah.
Good morning. Good morning. But yeah, man, we got Mike Smalls Jr., man, and Mike Smalls Jr. is like a streamer's streamer. You know what I'm saying? Like creators enjoy watching this guy, and but yeah, like just reaching out to him and saying, hey, man, would love for you to come on Kick Talk because you put out that poll not too long ago about moderation, and this guy rides the line on moderation, right? When he's trying to like come up with content and like good shit to do. And there's been a lot of times when we're just looking at his stuff and we're like, oh man, he's riding this line really, really hard and really fast, but his stuff is hilarious. His stuff is really smart. So I thought it'd be very interesting to bring him on and start getting his thoughts around, you know, moderation. Also, the other thing is he was a KCIP beta tester for us. Like when we first started rolling out. So when we had phase 1, 2, and 3, we wanted to test the dashboard objectively, right? So we brought on 4 streamers and he was one of 4 that really tested it out for us with the KCIP. And then the other thing is, man, is like this guy's done collabs with like everyone from Fusi, who he got knocked out on Fusi's stream during a G7 fight. This guy collabed with AC7. I think he took his first bong hit with AC7 on his stream. And then when Jack Doherty streamed on Kick, Jack Doherty's bodyguard roughed him up pretty good because he was trying to get into this venue that Jack was doing, I think, like this Tesla's giveaway. My point is that Mike Smalls pops up everywhere, right? And then lately, he's been going viral for like, he tried to camp out during like Hurricane Helen. I think he was involved with that whole
I remember that.
He was like Aiden Ross was like I think there was like this misclip on saying like, hey, I'll give $20K to someone who camps out, and Mike just jumped all over it, right? And he got out there, right?
Did he get paid?
He got paid, man.
Oh,
he got paid. Aiden came through and paid him, man. So I don't know if it was $20K or $10K. I might be off on the number, but this guy goes way back, man. This guy started out on Vine. This guy started out on another app called Keek that I'd never heard of in my life.
Wait,
but
Keek?
When you dig Keek, Keek, I've never heard of it, man. I'll let him explain more of it. But this guy was, so when you dig even deeper, this guy was on MTV. He hosted the red carpet for like the 2014 Teen Choice Awards.
Oh shit!
And he was well, I think he did the hosting for the red carpet, right? Wow. So like, but even then he was, the dude was like 15, 16 years old when he did it, right? Shit. So like crazy young. Like this guy's he's only 26 years old, but he's been cooking in the industry for like 10, 12 years. So all this shit, I think we're dealing with a professional, man. I don't think we're dealing with someone who's like just popped up on the scene, right? So I think he's got a lot to say. I think he's got a lot of advice to offer up to us. But this guy's well-rounded. The other thing is he was on like MTV. He did like, I don't know if you guys in Australia have a show called Ridiculousness, but it's kind of like
we do.
Yeah. So he was on that show for a hot minute. So this guy's done some stuff. The other thing is like he's done some big stuff like the BBC did an article on him for the hurricane stuff that he did, the Daily Mail. Like this guy goes viral on his own and he's got it down. But I don't know, like I would love to bring him in and just like start off the conversation, man.
Let's bring Mike in.
I also have a couple clips if we want to watch some of that shit, but it's hilarious.
Do you want to bring the clips up as we introduce Mike?
If we want. Yeah.
What's the deal? Hold on.
Yeah, I think Mike, there you is. Sweet.
What's the deal? Hey, appreciate the introduction, man. I'm on here smiling and cheesing, man. That's love.
Hell yeah, man. We do our digging.
Nice to formally meet you, Mike. How you doing?
Man, doing good. Nice to meet you as well. Yeah, I mean, how you doing, Eddie?
Very well, thank you very much. I think Andrew's trying to find a couple of clips of you right now. He wanted to kind of pre-intro it with some special moments here. Hold on.
Fair enough. Let's get a chat.
There we go. Hold on. We got this. Let's bring this.
Y'all see that?
It's loading a bit. It's struggling. There we go.
He's a lagger.
Sweet. So, Mike, do you want to set this one up, man? This is you caroling. I think you just did this, man.
Yeah, you want to make it full screen, Andrew?
Yeah.
Yes, that's the Christmas carol. Oh shit! This is actually. Yo, wait. You see, you want me to?
Yeah, set it up. What is this? Yeah.
Okay, so boom. Basically, I was doing like I've been doing like a door-to-door series, right? So this is like my third time like going door-to-door. The first one I was like doing I'm not sure if y'all peeped the trick-or-treating, and after that I was selling candy bars. So like as a cherry on top, you know what I mean? I had the idea to go Christmas caroling. And the original goal was to kind of do with other kick streamers, but didn't really work out. So I was like, I'm gonna go out there by myself, you know, entertain the people, and just kind of troll and you know what I'm saying? Just kind of get, you know, just kind of spread some Christmas joy, you know. So some people, they were cool about it, but others weren't.
Oh, shit. I'm so sorry.
10
seconds.
Wait, turn it up, Andrew?
I'm so serious. We have to leave right now. I'm not kidding. They're already
But it's
late.
fine. You want that 5? We're talking for 5 seconds right now.
I'm so sorry. Thank
Hold
you.
on. I understand it now. Jingle bells, niggas at your front porch.
Damn.
Open the door, cause niggas need some more. Yeah. Jingle bells, niggas on your
Yo.
I'ma leave right now before my ass gets popped.
What the?
We turn it up in that thing. Come on, Eddie. Rock with a kid, you did. Come on now. You gotta go stupid. We turn it up in that thing. Stop playing with me.
How haven't I seen this yet?
Oh, word. Well, now you have.
Thinking all day. God bless. You know what I mean? Merry Christmas.
I don't care about the presents underneath the Christmas tree.
You gotta get in the Christmas spirit. They gotta lock in.
They don't look too happy.
They was so pissed off, bro.
Listen, you need to stop going up on people's property and intimidating them and giving them a hard time.
What are you doing? You're gonna get yourself fucking arrested. Over there in the US, don't people just like you're gonna be shot.
Don't intimidate people.
Crazy out there in the US. You all
gotta
you
entertain the people.
fuck, man. You're out there risking. That's intense. What was the idea behind that? Hold on, we got another one. Hold on, Andrew's got another one cooking here. Hold on a second.
Oh shit.
Yeah. No,
Andrew loves showing this one.
I love it. I love showing this one because I don't know if this is fake or real, but this is Mike Smalls at G7
Yeah, you gotta milk it.
Fight Club, man. Yeah. Go for it. Here we go.
I was drunk as hell. Yeah.
Get on him, gang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hung.
oh shit.
Let me lock in. Like, hold on.
Fuck, man.
Got my head. I was.
No, right there. Wait. Right there. There he goes.
Slow motion is diabolical,
There
Andrew.
we go.
A triple replay is diabolical. I ain't gonna hold you.
Yeah, shit, that guy was like a professional. That was a couple of
Yeah, he was
swings
good.
there.
He hustled me. He lied to me and told me that he wasn't really a boxer, and he got in there and said he was from Syria and started knocking me out.
Yeah, now that guy, that's meant to be like an amateur event or something. That guy was throwing some proper.
Yeah, he definitely hustled me.
He knew what he was doing.
lied to me.
He knew what he's doing. And you got one more?
I got one more. This one went pretty big for Mike.
Yeah.
I mean, Mike, go ahead and talk about it, man. What did this clip do for you? Right? Like,
that definitely that changed a lot of things. Because like even before that clip, we've been kind of hitting headlines with the Fuzi and Jack Doherty shit, but it's like that really kind of solidified me as like, okay, I'm kind of up and coming as as a like solidified IRL streamer. And like the whole idea behind this was I was getting emails from our apartment complex that was gonna be a hurricane, and I'm like, sheesh. So everyone's like evacuating. I just had the idea. I'm like, you know what? What if I go out there and storm chase that bitch and just entertain the people? And then I take a little out of planning. I do some research, make sure I don't actually die out there. So a lot more like planning went into it than people even realized. But I went out there with it's not even a real tent, it's a dog tent. We went out there with a dog tent. That's all they had on Amazon, and I just went crazy out there, joint simple.
What the fuck?
going wild, going out.
You're trying to set the tent up.
That was so hard.
It's my last stream. I'll kick last stream.
What are you doing?
It's just intense.
What? Is that?
look at him. He's in like 3 feet of water, man. It's just coming in.
That shit was flooded. Oh my goodness.
Were you worried for a second there?
Yeah, for a second, I was trying to play it up, but for a second, I was low-key worried because all my belongings got super wet. Like, my phone got water damage, but it was definitely worth it. Like, it was worth it. The return on investment was definitely high.
Definitely worth it. Fair enough. Well, if it was worth it, then that's good news. That's good news. That's some crazy shit, man. Like, genuinely, you're out there kind of like risking your life to an extent. Some people would call you insane. Some people call you crazy, but I guess what? It's just love for what you do almost.
Yeah, exactly. And, I feel like on a surface level, like, it definitely looks like, oh, he's just risking his life. But like I said, like, I take my content really seriously. And, like, I do a lot of research. I would never put myself in, like, in a dire situation. I'm a really calculated person. So, I went out there entertaining people, go home safe and sound. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I think we need... Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of content people want. Like, I guess, there's people out there that love gaming. There's people out there that love IRL streaming, and then you just take it to kind of like your own little level, right? which is awesome.
One little lane.
Hey, Mike, I've got a few real quick questions for you, and then you know what? I'll kind of like hand it over to you. I don't know. Did you come with a whole bunch of questions, or how are you set up?
I had a couple things, but what I'm saying, Andrew was telling me that it's kind of a free-flowing conversation. So, I definitely got some questions though for sure, but it's nothing like I don't got like 50 questions off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, just quickly, because Andrew's mentioned before, you're saying you're doing like streaming is definitely not your first rodeo when it comes to the entertainment industry. He's talking about like the red carpet back in like the Teen Choice Award. Who are you out there interviewing? What was like some of the big names there?
Yeah. So like, so here's the thing, like. I wasn't that big at the time. I was a co-host with Carrie Keegan, but I wasn't famous enough to interview Ariana Grande or Kim Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? But I met them. But they let me interview Taj Mahoy, a bunch of Viners at the time. Stuff like that. But it was a great experience. But I was nervous. I was nervous as shit. I was stuttering on national television. So the video's still on YouTube, but what I'm saying, it's kind of hard to find. I deleted off my channels. Embarrassing.
I was looking, man. It's deleted, man. I was trying to dig it out.
I'm glad you couldn't find it. You know what I'm saying? But it's definitely there. Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link after this call, Andrew. I got you. But yeah. So yeah, and like, how I got the opportunity was I used to post videos on this platform called Keep. And it was like an up and coming platform. It's like 36-second videos. So that's how I really got a name for myself. I used to do like roast battles and skits. And then I got, then they emailed me and said, hey, we want you to fly out here to go to the Teen Choice Awards. I was like, what the hell? And my dad thought it was fake. And then, the rest is history. So that's kind of how,
you got invited to that from just making these 36-second videos.
Yeah. They was hosting a content creation competition at the time, and I won the competition. I had to be like the most creative skit, and then they said, all right, you're going to be flown out here to co-host the Teen Choice Awards. I was like, sheesh. I'm from a real small town from Kalamazoo, so like that was like my whole community blew up. Everyone was talking about it at school, but you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was real quick. Like I said, I was very nervous on it, but hey, we did it though.
That's awesome. That's epic. That's super cool.
Yeah.
But hey, look, so you went from like, I guess, so obviously you use like Keek, right? To get kind of like that initial traction, which then kind of brought you almost into this like slightly more mainstream world of like the Teen Choice Awards, MTV. I think Andrew even mentioned Nickelodeon then. Well, but then you pivoted kind of a little bit back again. Now you're back here on the likes of Kick, on the likes of however else you're going viral across the whole internet. It's a bit of a journey, right? What made you kind of like choose this route, or is it just kind of been like a free flowing sort of set of decisions where you just kind of go with the flow?
No, good question. Like I said, I used to post videos, right? And actually, at the Teen Choice Awards, I met this one guy named Jamie Burns. I'll never forget him. And he told me about this other platform. It's a live streaming platform called YouNow. And YouNow at the time was a really big live streaming platform. I mean, they kind of fell off now. But I was like, okay, what live streaming? I'm like, okay, what is that? So you don't edit videos? But I went back home and I went live on it, and I just fell in love with streaming. Plus, I don't really like editing videos either. So I was like, I just like to go live, press the button to entertain the people. So I just fell in love with streaming on YouNow. Then I got solidified, on that platform. But then I had to take a break from like streaming the content a little bit because I went to college. College takes a lot of time. But after I graduated a couple of years ago, I got like a little corporate job, just saying like I kind of gave up, and then Kick came out and I just dropped everything. I just started streaming on Kick, and then eventually, quit my job, and now we're here. So that's kind of like a little. That's how it came up a little bit.
Fuck yeah! Well, I'm glad you're back here. It sounds like a roller coaster, and now you're
it's been
you're a pretty recognizable person from all these viral clips. I'm sure.
Starting to get active. Starting to get. We taking over the Kick, John. You know what I mean? Taking over the Kick, John.
Hey, on the topic of Kick, because you're involved in the beta testing of the KCIP. Obviously, you've been around. Phase 2 or phase 3? Phase 2.
No, I wasn't in no phase.
We kept him for the KCIP beta testing.
Yeah.
So
the beta testing through. Before. Okay, that's right. Yeah. Well, from the get-go of that, obviously you've seen it go through a few iterations. What do you reckon? Where's KCIP at right now? Is it living up to expectations? Is it any feedback on that front? Or maybe you got questions for that later.
I'll answer. I mean, like me personally, like I've never had an issue with KCIP, and I can't speak for others. Other streamers on Kick. I see people lashing out. They're getting $2 KCIP. Look, $2. I don't know, but the reason why I like KCIP is because it's an incentive program, right? So it incentivizes me to say, all right, how do I, create creative content to get more viewers, get more real chatters, no view bots, run up some views, and pay the bills. So I don't know. It really just motivated me to work harder, and as long as I'm good with my money, my finances, I was able to move from Michigan all the way to Florida, get my own crib just off the KCIP and subs. So it's definitely life changing if you put the work in, and you put the work in, and you're good with finances. So I rock with it.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's awesome. I like how you mentioned there as well. Yeah, I think a lot of time with KCIP there's a bit of confusion around it because again, live streaming, as we know, sometimes people's views might be high, but it's about the real viewers, it's about the non-view botted ones.
Right.
That's what truly matters when you actually really get in that traction. It pays well. It pays well when that happens, that's for sure. And it's an incentive, right? It's an incentive to do better. It's an incentive to continue to grow the channel, which is awesome, right? I think that's exactly the kind of concept behind it is how can we keep people motivated but still pay the money? Because one of the really not upsetting, but one of the things that is almost an issue with streaming is when people start making money is they kind of get lazy. Like Once people start making too much money, their content kind of goes downhill, right? But the KCIP though, like the whole concept behind KCIP is like, how do we ensure that people can get money but not get lazy? And obviously, you know, as you mentioned, what ends up happening there is obviously what you get is kind of what you put in almost. And that's hopefully the concept. And I guess as a result, we get to see you doing some wild shit out in fucking Florida as the hurricanes are hitting and all that. So
I'm telling you, look. It definitely incentivized me. I'm keeping it a buck here. Like it definitely incentivized me to say, okay, how do I be creative? How do I, you know, get real viewers? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like I said, for me, my standpoint, you know, it's been a game changer. I've heard this rumor. I'm not sure if it's true, but is there like a KCIP cap? Somebody says there's a cap. Like if you get too many views, you know what I'm saying? Like, or is that just it's not true?
There's not a cap. No, there's no cap in earnings. So like some of the people like on 10, 15,000 viewers are getting some insane rates on it. That's for sure.
Okay.
But like let's say that your viewers go from like, let's say you go from 100 average viewers to like 1,000 in a single stream. That will like cap that single stream out. Like it's. Without getting into too much specifics, but like it has to be like a granular increase, right? If you have like a single stream that goes really, really big, it won't 10x in that way that it works kind of thing. It's a bit of a protection against abuse, and it's also to ensure like this. It's similar to how you mentioned before about being an incentive. It's to incentivize people to slowly grow consistent content. So like if you say you had one stream with 100,000 viewers, you know, you're not going to get paid for that. It's more like you need to consistently get that view count kind of thing is sort of the concept behind it and the other metrics and whatnot that we track rather. But no, there's no cap. There's no cap on it at all. There's no cap. It can go as high as possible, I guess. So we'll see.
I was just kind of curious.
Just on the clip stuff, that G7 clip we saw before. this was something else I was going to ask. But did you try to get knocked out on purpose by any chance, or was that like was that legit? I don't know. I was just watching that before. I was thinking like, is this part of the play, or is this like part of the act, or what's going on here?
Yeah, is that how you fight? Was that your fighting stance, or were you?
Okay, y'all wilding, all right? Let me explain the situation. No, listen, so like, boom, storyline, right? Boom. I was there. I went there as like a spectator, right? I went there as a spectator. I'm not a fighter. I never fought my whole life. That was actually my first fight. And then I was, you know what I'm saying? The drinks were flowing. Some guy just kept on handing me Trulies left or right. I started banging them bitches. And then some random guy, he was like, oh, I never fought before. Let's hop in there. It was the guy that I fought. So he basically scammed me. I got in there. And then once he asked where he was from, so I'm from Syria. I'm like, okay, I'm definitely getting knocked the fuck out. And then, but I couldn't really like back down. So I was like, you know what I'm saying? I tried my best, but he's just a better boxer than me. I got popped. Okay,
so it was fully legit. You got knocked down for real. You weren't kind of leaving yourself exposed to allow for a clip to potentially go viral.
Yeah, not necessarily like I said, going into it, I knew it was going to be.
It's not a no, not necessarily. Okay.
Oh my God. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you know, got a little clip out the situation, but I'm not gonna lie, that shit, it fucked my jaw up bad. I couldn't, my jaw was popping for like a week after that. So yeah, I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again.
That's awesome.
But it was fun though. It was fun though, for sure.
One last one from me, then I'll hand it over to you, Mike. Right. You know, since these days, you mentioned before, like the days of Keek, you know, obviously Vine, like, I mean, you've been around for it all by the sounds of it, right? Like you've kind of seen this whole space, even like obviously you now, right? That when that was a big shot, big platform. You know, what's the biggest thing that you've seen sort of change in the space up until now? Like what is the main sort of points of differentiation, or is it kind of just really very much the same stuff, but just different age?
No, the game definitely evolved. Like when I was streaming on YouNow at the time, like the only really competitors, you know, that I've seen was just Twitch and YouNow at the time. And on Twitch, everyone was just gaming. On YouNow, you know, it was kind of it was a way for people to like showcase their talent. You know what I'm saying? So like, so I was really used to just doing desktop streams and things like that. But the main way I saw like the streaming evolve is like just the IRL. Like that's something that really took off. So that's why, I fell in love with IRL, just like 9-10 months ago. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the main thing I noticed is IRL. Obviously, people are making livings off this now. So that's definitely a big change as well. But, I generally believe that streaming is growing at an exponential rate. It's going to just keep on. It's going to keep on. So I'm glad that, we hopped in soon. I'm glad we hopped in, while we could, because it's going to grow for sure.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that. I think that's a big thing behind what we believe in Kick. It's a bet on not just like Kick, but the live streaming industry in general. Like I think as content continues to adapt, like people want to see stuff live. They want to be there in the moment. I think a lot of stuff's moving to shorts and all that kind of stuff, but I think nothing will ever replace the feeling of being in a stream when something happens live and being there right then and then before it starts breaking out on social media. You're kind of like ahead of the time, and there's something special about being in the moment, right? I think I don't think no matter what happens in the social media space, nothing will ever replace that feeling of being right there with someone in that very special moment. But Mike, I'll hand it over to you. Questions around Kick, questions around anything that's going on, how we can do better. I'm sure you've got a few things to talk about.
Yeah, a couple things. So I mean, kind of in regards to the whole KCIP. As y'all know, it's like one of the biggest problems on Kick. As y'all know, it's like the whole view button, yada yada yada, right? So like from y'all standpoint, since almost everyone's kind of doing it, right? How do you guys kind of combat that with KCIP? How does that necessarily work? Obviously, you can't just ban every streamer, or it's kind of hard to track it. And like, how do y'all combat that?
Yeah, well, viewbotting's tough, right? Because I guess the moment someone's getting viewbotted, immediately the first thing that happens if you confront someone is they go, "It's not me. I wasn't doing it. Someone else is viewbotting me," right? And at that point, we obviously have no way of proving that it was actually them engaging in the activity. Right. So it's been a problem that's been around social media forever, right? It really is. It's never gone away. It's incredibly prominent on all platforms, no matter where you look. But the thing is, as the platform, right? As a platform, you have access to a lot of data, right? When I pull up my stream, for example, I can see, where people are connected from, whether they're on VPNs, whether they're proxies, whether they're English browser, a whole bunch of range of data, right? You've got all this data. So very quickly, if you pull up a live stream and you start analyzing it and looking into the bigger picture, you can quickly understand, hold on a second, this is, real people versus not real people, right? Obviously, it's one of those things whereby if you actually update it so that the real view count was reflected, the bots get smarter. Like what you end up doing, the bots get smarter and smarter and smarter. And if they've got a way to gauge the feedback, they'll keep updating their bots until they can start counting as a viewer. Because people always come to us, they're like, "Oh, if you know the difference between view bots and real viewers, why don't you just show the real view count?" Well, the answer to that is, unfortunately, if we show the real view count, they'll keep poking around until they figure out how they get their bots to look like real people, right? So that's the problem. We can't really do that because they get instant feedback. They go, "Oh, I'll try this," and then that doesn't work. I'll try this, and it doesn't work. So unfortunately, the view count that you display on the front end to the customer, to the users, to the viewers, it has to always be that number, and it's going to get exploited, and people are going to fuck around with it, right? Yeah. But on the back end, we have all our data points which we're able to see. So stuff like KCIP, right? KCIP uses the real viewer count. It doesn't use the view botted one, right? So that's why I think a lot of people complain. They're like, "Oh fuck, I'm getting $2 on KCIP." Well, if someone's saying they're getting $2 on KCIP, it probably means that their view botting is. They kind of like outed themselves. They're like, "Oh shit!" Like that probably is a good indicator that you're unfortunately. Maybe utilizing a bot program and getting pissed off that the bot program is not working. But it's an uphill battle, right? I think we do have a lot of measures in place. We started implementing a few extra measures recently that I don't think any platform's done to really start combating it hard, like the serial view botters. We can't release too much information about it because it really is a game of cat and mouse. It really is. It's like these people that build these programs, the people that engage in that stuff. At the moment we start talking too much about it and saying, "Oh, we're on top of it," they just end up going harder at it and start botting other stuff. Right, so, we don't really want to poke the bear. It's kind of one of those situations that we're always trying to bring down. Because at the end of the day, it does challenge the integrity of streaming, right? It sucks it really sucks if you zoom out, because there's people out there like really putting in honest work, not engaging in it, and they're kind of like, fuck, this must suck. So we are actively trying to combat it. So we know, at this point, I feel like I'm a fucking expert in robots now, just on the back of all this shit. Like having to deal with this now for a couple of years, you certainly realize why it's not a solved problem. But can we do better at making sure the platform is an even playing field, that people have that fair exposure that they deserve for not engaging in that? 100%. So I think we're looking to add more and more process to get better at it. But, you know, I think, Mike, at the end of the day, like Kick knows as a platform who's viewbotting and what their real view count is, right? So, you know, I think just take solace in the fact that, like, obviously, I guess some viewers may be potentially deceived by stuff, but as a platform and how you get rewarded and how you get looked after is a, it's a derivative of your true worth, your true view count, and your true content. So, you know, as a platform, like, you know, again, I like to think we can't be fooled, but, you know, obviously it still doesn't change the fact that we can certainly continue to do better on this front, and we will do better. And I think we are. I honestly think some of the measures we have in place are great. And I must say, like, people single out Kick for viewbotting, but I know for a fact viewbotting is even worse elsewhere. Like, fuck, I know based on a lot of things that it's
more advanced. It's more advanced too, because the pixel embedding is far superior. Now you have these programs out there that combine chats, right?
Jeez.
So you have these alt accounts that will jump in and immediately inflate those combined chats, right? So it's just there's way more sophisticated ways to inflate on other platforms other than Kick, man.
So, like, why do y'all think that is? Like, do y'all think, you know, people just want to come at Kick because, you know, we're the easy target? It's just because we're a new platform? Like, if everybody knows other platforms, you know, have a lot of view butters, like, why do y'all feel like people like to point fingers at Kick all the time? You feel me? Like,
I don't know. Good question, right? I think Kick is just a hot topic to discuss sometimes. I think if you're looking at like Twitter and stuff, I think if you include like Kick in your tweet, probably gets higher engagement. I don't know, right? I think also to be fair, right? Kick does attract some pretty controversial figures, right? There's no doubt about that. You know, we've got some people out there that certainly stream on Kick and maybe, you know, certainly loved within their communities, but in outside communities, not that loved. Like, I think, you know, a big thing about Kick is trying our best to support as much content as possible, right? You know, whether that's you heading out in Florida, you know, camping out, you know, during a cyclone, or, you know, going door knocking and potentially getting yourself in a little bit of trouble with some IRL streaming. You know, our job as a platform is to try to curate as much content as possible. I think when you curate a lot of content, you end up getting a lot of people out there who are not too happy with what you're potentially platforming, right? Which is fair enough. Everyone's got their own opinion. But I think as a result of that, we have some of the most, the most polarizing potentially individuals. And I think obviously at that point, you know, Kick does become scrutiny on the back of that. And I think that's just, you know, very much the mode of operation will always be. And it's not the worst thing either. It can be free publicity to an extent. But I think in just terms of that subject alone, I definitely think it's prevalent everywhere on the internet. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a fact. I'm starting to realize people just like to point the fingers at Kick, you know, like you said, probably just for engagement reasons or whatever the case may be. But, I feel that for sure. And also, like, as far as content on Kick, I see a lot of streamers, they're hosting events and things like that. So what's like the process for pitching events on Kick? Let's say there's a streamer, they have a great idea for an event. How does somebody kind of get in contact with somebody to kind of pitch an event?
Andrew, how are we doing that at the moment?
Yeah. That's actually something that I've been working on for maybe like the last 3 or 4 months, right? So I just evolve out of departments and then get put on like different projects. And this last project that I've been kind of curating is called the Kick Series Programming. We haven't full on launched it because we're still testing it out. We're kind of like in our like 2.5 phase right now of testing it, because the other side of this is like, all right, like if you pitch something to Kick, like what's the legal paperwork look like for that? What are the terms and conditions around that? Things of that nature. So those are some of the things that we're currently working out, right? But essentially what the Kick Series programming is that you pitch a series, right? Or a one-off, right? If you have like we had this one guy who had access to like a ski slope, right? And he said, hey, listen, going out to this ski slope, would love to get front page. This is the content that I usually produce. They send us a reel. They send us kind of a bio of what it is they're doing. And then we schedule them. We schedule them on the front page. Or like, let's say someone comes up and says, hey, listen, I've got this game show that I want to do, like, control my life type of vibe. And then, they'll pitch like 4 or 5, 6 episodes. Again, there's a reel submitted, and I can repost the link to that submission form, but we haven't formally like heavily rolled it out, right? The other thing is that you can go to kickcommunity.com. If you have like a tournament, like a Valorant tournament or like a COD tournament, you can go to kickcommunity.com and submit for a tournament that you have organized, right?
Interesting.
But we are going to be rolling out. It's kind of like the same thing we did with KCIP, where we started small. We saw where the pitfalls were, and then we fully rolled it out. But yeah, if you guys got an idea, there is a Kick Series programming thing that is out there. You can fill it out. We review it, and then we say, all right, we're going to give you like 4 spots on the front page so you can create an arc. I think that's what we're really trying to tell people to do. And like, it's in the same vein that you are rolling up your sleeves and working, man, where you see an opportunity, and we just don't want people to hit go live, right? We want, like for instance, you were in chat roulette for a very, very long time, man. And something switched where you got out from behind your desk and you went out there and you started generating and producing other content. I'm not saying that you can't make a living doing chat roulette, but at some point you have to continue to evolve your content. And I think that that's what we're trying to encourage people to do around the Kick Series program. But I anticipate like towards the end of January that this is going to be something that lives on the kickcommunity.com website where anyone can have full access. And people have full access to it now, but we're just trickling it in, right? Because we can only handle so many people, so many pitches at this point.
I feel that, but I'm really glad Kick is prioritizing that, because I feel like, that's the key, and obviously, there's changes to be done with the API and fix the app, but it's like, I think that's the key is content, what I'm saying? Creative content. That's what's going to help Kick kind of get to the next level. You know what I'm saying? So, definitely prioritizing content. I think that's the key to
Mike, real quickly, because you mentioned, so I think Andrew's talking about like an awesome initiative that we're going to have up and running on the content like production side, and I think that's going to be big. But I think you mentioned obviously the events, right? So I guess you're talking about like Sandpepper, Ice Poseidon, like those sort of things, yeah. I think those, to be honest, those are kind of like one-off things that we kind of just been running, like we're just no real official process. But do you have an idea or something that you wanted to pitch?
Yeah. If you got something,
you got something here?
Some things. I gotta say, listen, I'm cooking, but I don't want to say it on straight. I'll hit y'all up, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely got some things, and that was kind of been my strategy. Like, I know a lot of people want, Kick to sponsor their events like that, but my strategy was like, all right, I want to prove to Kick staff that I'm a creative person first. Stream a couple of hurricanes, knock on a couple doors, and then eventually, like, okay, y'all can see that, how my mind works, my creative process, kind of taking more seriously with us. But yeah, I've definitely been working on some shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Hold on, let me just open a DM with you quickly. I want to hear this one out. Hold on.
Oh, well, you want to DM the idea right now?
No, I just want to open the DM now so that like, how do I do this?
Okay, bet.
Yeah. Hey, so while he's doing that, I got a quick question for you on that. Like, how do you explain to people? Because I think a lot of people have this misconception that I'm just going to hit go live on KCIP and the money's going to start rolling in, right? Like, what do you, and then, here, right? Like you didn't sit on your hands and start complaining about Kick not platforming you. You went out there and you worked, you get on Kick Talk, you're pitching here. Like it's an incremental moves, right? Like, how do you explain to people who just who see people who have success and think that it just came overnight? Like what do you say to people who are like,
That's a really good point. And I ain't gonna lie, I do feel for those people because I feel like almost every streamer goes through that phase where it's like, does Kick rock with me? You know, why aren't they putting on the front page? Why they keep banning me? Even I went through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, okay, I'm working hard. I'm not getting no attention. So, but I think people just need to understand that, like, you can't take it personal. As long as you just don't take it personal and you just work. You know what I'm saying? You just work and be creative. It's at some point, you know what I mean? As long as your content is saucy, at some point, you're going to get the love you deserve. And I'm living proof of it. I'm living proof, you feel me? So that's the way I look at it. I kind of put my pride aside, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I don't like to point fingers. I see people on the front page. I'm not on the front page. Instead of like crying about it, hey, work harder. That's all I can really say on that. You just got to put your head down and lock in for real. And eventually the blessings will come.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting approach, right? I think yeah, at the end of the day, like, obviously it's fucking awesome if you get like front page and all that kind of stuff and all that. It helps, right? It certainly helps. But realistically, I think, you know, there's been a lot of people that, you know, we've given front page to and have done really well. But there's been a hell of a lot of people who've got all that treatment and you know, haven't done well. It ultimately just comes down to like the content, right? I think there's all these little things that can come along that can give you a little bit of a boost and help you out. But realistically, you either make it or you know, you just got to continue trying, right? That's kind of how it is. It just comes down to whether you can build a community and fuck, it's hard work. It really is hard building a live streaming community. I think not everyone, right? But it's so easy to build like a massive following on like TikTok or like Instagram nowadays or Twitter and X and get views there. But I must say, like, building a live streaming community, building like an active following on live streaming, it's fucking difficult. Like, it is really difficult. And, you know, maintaining that even more so is even harder.
Yeah, that's a fact, though.
Once you break through, though, you break through and you've got that kind of loyal sort of, you know, that backbone, then you're set, though, because it opens up so many opportunities, I guess. It really is kind of I like to think it's kind of like the very top of the social media sort of funnel almost. Like, what happens live just trickles down to YouTube, trickles down to TikTok, trickles down to Reels, trickles down everywhere else, right? Live streaming is like the beginning of that sort of content creation cycle sometimes, and I think it really is sort of the spearhead of that. So, yeah, it's bloody hard work. And I guess, you know, to the point before that Andrew was making, you can't really get that any way other than just being an incredible streamer. Like, no matter what happens with front pages, no matter what happens with the support of like whoever or whatever, like, yeah, it's tough. It's competitive. And I think ultimately the best content wins, right? It's kind of like just a free market for people's attention.
No, that's a fact.
I think bitterness takes down a lot of great streamers. Does that make sense?
I agree with that as well. I see a lot of people that they truly rely on the front page, and if they're not on there, or just not even just the front page, just attention from Kickstarter or whatever the case may be, and like they see other people get that love, and they say, "What about me? What about me? What about me?" But it's like if that's your approach, you just want to shoot yourself in the foot. You're going to get really discouraged. But like I said, though, I think a lot of streamers go through that. Even I go through that phase. Like, does Kid Staff rocking me? Like, I'm not getting no attention. What the hell's going on? But you can't take it personal. You gotta just keep grinding, and then eventually you'll be talking to Eddie, right? You're gonna be out.
Yeah, man, you've been on that red carpet talking to some crazy important people. This conversation ain't nothing in the scheme of your things.
I mean, and look, it's like I said, it's an honor for me. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely an honor. Wait, and speaking, I'm not gonna lie though, like, one reason why I do really rock with Kick, like I made the move here is because, and no glazing either, you feel me? Like, just the fact that US really tap into the culture, and Kick Staff actually, I feel like y'all generally care about the creator, and the fact that, like you said to Maria, Eddie, y'all be going live talking to the community. But like, on the flip side though, do you feel like there's some cons associated with that? You know what I'm saying? You got Saint Maria, people calling him Mustache Man, whatever. So like, now you guys are kind of like becoming streamers, right? Y'all becoming streamers, almost content creators, not just like employees. So do you feel like that can create other issues down the line, just in drama, things like that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I think it's good though. I think it's good, right? It's just, to be honest with you, I like to think of it. Let me start again, actually. I guess, for me, right, I've been live streaming now for like, I don't even know. I think I did my first live stream like 12 years ago or something, but I started like doing it every week, like maybe like 6 years ago, I guess. 6 years ago. Yeah, around about then. Okay. So I've been doing it a while, right? And I've always just loved live streaming, like way before Kick. I was on Twitch, of course, and it was awesome. It was good fun, right? So I think just genuine passion for live streaming is just in our DNA. It's in the company's DNA. Like, we genuinely enjoy it. We didn't get into live streaming and start live streaming after building Kick. It was obviously something beforehand, right? So, going live every Saturday night and doing a live stream is just like literally part of my routine at this point, well before Kick.
Say that.
And I think that's good. I think that's good because, naturally I think, we are susceptible to a lot of public feedback. Obviously, I guess, the public, just like any streamer, right? Streamers, go through. I'm sure you've seen it, Mike. When you're out there doing crazy shit, you got people on Twitter going like, "This guy's fucking stupid." Like, I'm sure you've seen it all, right? Like, you get all the highs and the lows associated with it. But, I think ultimately you remain tapped in. You understand your audience. You understand what people fuck with, what they don't fuck with, and I think you can help to make more informed decisions, being on the front lines. As close to the customer as you can get is a great way to really, truly understand what people want. Obviously, as we mentioned before, Kick still has a lot of stuff it needs to do to just play catch up, whether that's the API, app, and all that kind of stuff. But once all that stuff's out, I think the difference it's going to really make is, hopefully being able to truly understand what makes content creation great, what makes, streaming what it is. And I think if you're really tapped into it, if you really understand the voice of the customer through actually using and interacting with the product and the community, it gives you a massive edge, right? But yeah, as you said, a lot of downside to it as well. I've got my fair share of hate. I think, Andrew he gets a little bit every now and again.
Slippery slope, you know what I mean?
It's worth it, it's worth it. And I think, if you're not willing to put yourself in the same position that you're asking people who are streaming on your platform to do, then I think, I don't think that's fair. You should be at very minimum willing to put yourself on the line, no different to every other streamer. That everyone streaming on Kick every day goes out and risks being the center of negative scrutiny and attention. And I think, if staff members are like, nah, I'm not going to take that risk, that's too scary, then that's a sign of, I don't think that's a sign of a team that fully backs the content creators. So yeah, I don't know. Good question though. Good question. I'm certainly never going to stop streaming, even if people continue to
run it up. Okay.
say that
he said he don't care.
I'll do it. I'll keep going. I enjoy it until they force me out of it. But yeah, I guess it's just it's just the nature of the streaming industry. I think it comes with highs and lows, right? It goes through different trends almost, right?
I feel that for sure. What's the obviously, Kick is backed by Stake, and what I'm saying, a lot of Kick streamers, they give away Stake. Now, I hear rumors. I'm not sure how true this is, so I want to ask you guys up front. But it's when a streamer gambles on a competitor, let's say another competitor platform, do y'all kind of shun that away, or that y'all really don't care? You know what I'm saying? When other streamers come gamble on a competitor platform, maybe not Stake, other platforms, but I've heard that Kick staff might kind of shun you away a little bit, not put you on the front page, whatever the case may be. What's kind of the thought process behind that?
Well, no, the gambling section, I guess, is vast majority not Stake nowadays. I think Stake is probably only, I don't know, obviously there's Train and XQC and Aiden or whatever who are on Stake, the big guys. But outside of that, there's a whole bunch of people that aren't on Stake, which is fine. It's great. It's good for the streaming section. We want people in the slots category. Okay, we want people in every category. That's for sure. In terms of being shunned away, not at all. I think one of our biggest KCIP earners right now is a person that doesn't stream on Stake. Kick is literally paying someone to stream on other people on other websites. That's fine, right? People sit there. A lot of people on KCIP nowadays just stream slots and they're not even on Stake, and they're just sitting there getting paid by Kick to do that. We're cool with that. That's fine. That's different. They're two different businesses, two different operations, two different set of goals. So I don't think there's anything to worry about there. Your ability to succeed on Kick, shouldn't be affected by your other decisions that you make, right?
Okay, word. Okay, I was so confused about that. People be telling me, people be in my ears. I don't know the truth, but no, I appreciate the answer on that. So besides, because I think the main motivator people have to create unique content is KCIP, money or whatever. But are there any things that you feel any ideas you have to like incentivize people to create more creative content other than money, other than like KCIP? Like, I don't know. I feel like we kind of need more incentives for people to create content other than just, okay, yeah, you get me, you know what I'm saying? You get some extra money, subs, or KCIP. You guys have any ideas with that?
Yeah, it's tough, right? It's tough. I think incentivizing people to move in the direction that is most beneficial for the platform is really at essence kind of the whole entire job of a platform, right? It really is to, whether it's like, I guess, the easiest example is, you incentivize people not to break the rules by banning the people who do, right? That's kind of like the same concept, right? There's you either give people the carrot or the stick, right? Like, we'd much prefer to give people a carrot, right? We'd be like, hey, look, go do the right thing, rather than saying like, oh, here's a ban for kind of doing the wrong thing. But, taking that a step further, finding out how we can incentivize people to do truly unique and truly creative content, that'd be great. I guess right now the main way is through money, right? With KCIP, I like to think that creative content should hopefully bring you more viewers or more real viewers, which should then lead to a higher KCIP rate. But it's a great point, though, to be fair. How can we do that outside of I'm not sure. Maybe, have you got some ideas, Mike?
Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna hit you. Look, I'm cooking. I got some idea. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you up.
Mike, you gotta give us something, man. You gotta give us something.
Nah, he's careful, man. The YouTube and Twitch executives out here watching this, taking notes. Steal Mike's ideas.
You never know who wants.
True.
Yeah,
but I think you're part of that, man. Like, I think the intention with KCIP is being reflected through your work, right? So look, I think there's things that we could do in terms of like, obviously releasing the API, obviously having channel points, obviously having like our own version of bits. Those are ways to beef that up. But really, it is like trying to inspire people like you, right, in stepping up their game and realizing, holy shit, if I spend 2 hours a day just producing my stuff and then executing, it's going to reap the rewards, right? Through KCIP, but that's hard to. That only comes with time, right? That comes in building the culture, right? And in my opinion,
And I feel that's a good point. I feel like a lot of people put almost too much pressure on Kick staff to like, figure out ways to, get this content going crazy. But at the end of the day, that's the responsibility of the content creators. We got to be creative. We got to get this shit rocking. So, it goes hand in hand. So, no, I definitely feel that.
Yo, Mike, real quickly before we move on, when you talk about the features, and I think Andrew mentioned some too, for you right now as like a streamer on Kick, like if you had to name like the 5 most important, actually fuck it, even 3 if you only got 3, 5 most important things you want to see out on Kick ASAP, what would they be?
Oh, just in general?
Yeah,
from a product standpoint?
anything like from a feature perspective,
Man, I ain't gonna lie. We gotta get this app rocking. The app low-key hamish.
Yeah, the app's dog shit right now. We got a new one coming. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, first, so app number 1.
We need that. We need the app going crazy. And honestly, that's pretty much what I mean. The app, just the overall. I mean, the user interface is cool. But just kind of just more features in general. You feel what I'm saying? Now, like I said, I'm not really big on all the technical shit, Eddie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just good at creating content. So I don't, say if you ask. Yeah, if you have questions about APIs, I don't know what the hell's going on with that shit, you know what I mean? But just overall, I want to see Kick succeed and, get more features in this thing. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, I know my lane. That's not really my lane, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I respect that. We were talking about that before. I was on the stream before with Jared FPS and Whimsy, and they're both saying, "When's the API coming out?" I'm like, do either of you guys even know what API stands for? And they're like, "Oh fuck."
No clue. I just know it's important. It's important as hell. I know it's important.
Yeah,
I keep talking about it. I don't know what it is.
Obviously, it makes a big fucking difference. We need that API, and it's coming. It's coming. We work.
Okay,
we got all that under control. And I think whether you're technical or not, or whether you care about it or not, I think you'll notice the difference when it comes to retaining viewership. Hopefully, when we do have that. Those features there for you to kind of plug into and utilize and be able to give people that best possible viewing experience that you have to offer on top of most importantly, the incredible content, right? Content first. And then I think all those support and features kind of just help to, make your life just ever so easier.
But aside from product, man, like anything else, right? Like, it doesn't have to be product related.
Oh, just like what I want to see out of Kick.
Yeah.
No, like I said, I'm just so big. I'm just so big on content. You know what I'm saying? That's literally, I always tell my community, like, I like creating creative content. So, I mean, and that's kind of bring it back to my last question. The last point we made is just, I really wish there was a way to kind of like, basically for people to like see Kick in a different light, other than like, okay, yeah, they're Kick streamers or degenerates, yada, yada, yada. Like, I want us to be known for something else other than, okay, that stigma with Kick streamers. And I think the direct correlation with that is content. So finding a way for streamers to get involved with stuff more. I think we need more events, more creative things for people to get involved with. And I think once we figure out that little sweet spot, then it's over. Yeah, we're gonna take over.
I think right now what people's idea of content is, it's back to that same idea, of things coming in ebbs and flows, right? Like, I think that people are going to start appreciating as time goes on, as video games become, I think there's a bit of a shift between like what people find interesting nowadays, and there is a shift in way people consume online media nowadays. Like, obviously, people see this, the last 2 years has just been, everything's moved to like short form content, right? Like, people's attention spans are changing, like their ability to sit down and watch certain content that they could consume for 10 hours on end is kind of like being diminished by this evolving landscape. And I do believe that at some point people will appreciate the people going out of their way to do great stuff, right? And I think people's perception of what degenerate is will change when they understand that, hold on a second, this is an acceptable form of content. I think it's just like anything, right? When something first goes on or first happens, I think people's first instinct is like, whoa, I don't know what this is. This is scary. This is bad. Like, what are they doing? They're out there doing all this new crazy stuff. Like, they're degenerates, they're this, they're that. I think that perception will change, right? Don't get me wrong. I don't think it excuses some of like the crazy shit that's been done on Kick, because there has been some really crazy shit that's kind of not cool. And I think we got ahead of a lot of that stuff nowadays, but I don't think that it's a great idea where people get kind of like painted with this bad brush of like, they're out there trying new stuff, therefore they're not cool or whatever, right? I think that's something that we certainly can work on helping to be part of that change, right? And I think it genuinely comes through just entertaining content and proving that there is an audience out there who can enjoy that certain type. But I guess, but to your point though, trying to ensure that the brand behind Kick is associated with that of entertainment and not with some of the negative connotations, I think is a big job and something that we're really working hard on. I think it comes down to who we associate with and how we associate with them and how we are involved with certain moderation tactics, but it's a tricky subject. But I think in good course, people will eventually appreciate, what's entertaining, right? That's what it all comes down to.
Yeah, I think we have to just be patient and just kind of let Kick evolve, right? Everybody wants everything to happen so quickly, so fast. Kick's been off for 2 years. Like, we gotta just be patient, let it evolve, and kind of see what happens with it. So I feel that.
Hey man, what was your vote on Eddie's poll?
Yeah, my vote is just right? I think the moderation is just right. I know it's controversial. I know it's controversial, but that's like my honest opinion on that. And from my point of view, like the whole moderation on Kick, bro, like let's talk about it. Like the whole I just feel like when it's all said and done, moderation is never going to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? When you're policing human behavior, it's never going to be perfect, whether it's Twitch, TikTok, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So, every time I got banned, sometimes I'd be mad, but then I have to humble myself and say, you know what? 9 times out of 10, I probably did some shit wrong. Like, let's be honest. Now, I'm not going to say every single time you get banned, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's, Kick might make a mistake, but like, I'm realizing that a lot of the times, 90% of the time, you know what I mean? When you get banned, you probably did some shit wrong. And the way I look at it is, Kick's moderation is only going to get stricter and stricter. It's not like we can't go backwards with it. I feel like the moderation, in order for us to be taken seriously as a platform, whether you're trying to get sponsors or ads, whatever, it's like, it's only going to get a little bit stricter. And I feel like the key is, as long as Kick is, less strict than our competitors, Twitch, whatever the case may be, then we're good. You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, moderation is always going to be controversial. You know what I'm saying? So that's why every time I get banned, I don't take it personal. I don't go on Twitter, start cussing people out. Hey, wait it out. Go back on live and entertain the people. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, you're copping some heat in the chat here for saying that, man. Are you sure it's just right?
Hell no, guys. Look, like I said, look, I can't cap. Like from what I'm seeing, you know what I'm saying? From what I've seen, honestly speaking, every time when I get banned, I'm like, sheesh, I low-key get mad. I want to point fingers. Hey, what about this streamer? You know what I'm saying? They did the same shit, but they didn't get banned. But it's like, dog, don't point the finger. Own up to this shit. 9 times out of 10, you probably did some shit wrong. I'm not saying Kick's perfect, but dog, you probably did. Wait out the ban, come back and get better. You can't really be mad at this shit.
Yeah, fair enough.
And like, I went through that.
It's interesting to hear. I'm glad you think it's just right. I think it is a really tough one. It is a really tough one. And you mentioned before, like, how do we make sure that the platform's taken, seriously? How do we make sure that the platform isn't just seen as like, hey, look, this like playground for fucking like degenerates or whatever, right? Trying to move away from that narrative, I think is important. And in order to do that, we got to like be like, hey, hold on a second, like, where do we draw that line? And it kind of sucks sometimes because in order to draw a consistent line, then obviously it does make making content slightly more harder, right? Like, suddenly you go, oh shit, I can't do this or I can do that. Like, it is a game of hold on, there's rules in place, which, rules definitely stifles like creativity. If you got no rules at all, the creativity can be like anywhere, right? You can do whatever the flying fuck you want. Right. But, that comes at a cost to the overall platform. It comes to the cost of the overall brand, which subsequently means, your brand. So, I like to think that the platform and the creator are somewhat aligned in the moderation tactics in the sense that, like, hopefully we can all kind of, do what's best for the platform. But yeah, again, is it perfect right now? I don't think it is. I think we've got some work to do personally. I think we're gonna, continue to review where we're at. I think we're too harsh in some areas, but too soft in others. That's my opinion. I think it depends on like what's happening. There's like a whole range of things that go on with moderation, right? I think there's some areas we can, let go a little bit and relax and take a deep breath and go, you know what? It's the internet. It's 2020, fucking 25 nearly, right? The world's changing, but I think in some areas though, we're actually too soft, I think there's some things that you don't even should joke about like that there. We need to boom, take that down. So, I think it's an evolving landscape. And, but I think to your point though, it's about, hey, look, if you do cop a ban, like the thing is 9.9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, it's for a pretty reason.
I'm saying, like, he probably doing some shit wrong, and I'm like, and to your point, because you said right now, moderation needs some work. So let's say an ideal world, right? Let's say, 6 months from now, a year from now, Eddie, you're like, you know what? In your mind, you're like, let's say, okay, you like moderation. Do you feel like we're ever going to reach to that point where you put that tweet out again? Let's say you put that same tweet out 6 months from now, a year from now, and say, everyone vote. What do y'all think of moderation? Do you feel like we're ever going to reach the point where most people are going to say the moderation is good? Because me personally, I don't think it's ever going to get to that point where, 90% of people don't kick, like the moderation. I think it's always going to be controversial.
Yeah. No, I think it's going to be hard. Wait, what do you reckon? Like, which platform? Okay, let's imagine like all social media platforms. You got Instagram, you got Facebook. Sorry, not Facebook. You got Instagram. You got TikTok. You got YouTube. You got Twitch. You got I don't fucking know.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yeah. All right. You got all those platforms. They all put a poll out like the similar one. Who do you reckon would win?
Oh, like win meaning who has the most lenient moderation?
No, wait. What do you reckon? What do you reckon? Like, say we got the too harsh, the too soft, and the just right sort of options there, right? From those platforms, like where do you think they would land? If they
Twitch like probably number one. Twitch probably number one. They strict. They super strict over there. Twitch number one. TikTok maybe number two. I know for a fact. The way
you put Twitch over TikTok because I think TikTok's crazy strict. Like you can't even say kill. You can't even say kill when you're playing Call of Duty in that. And
I wouldn't even be on TikTok like that. I ain't gonna be streaming, but I mean, I know they are strict though. I know they are strict, but I just feel like once a platform gets to that point, like mainstream platform, it's so hard to like really be having a super lenient moderation. So I feel like from Kick standpoint, as long as we're, we just stay up, we just stay competitive and we stay like less what I'm saying, less strict on our competitors. I think we'll be in a good spot. But I don't think it's ever going to be. I don't think people are ever going to say, I love kick moderation. It's perfect. No one's ever going to say that.
And let me reframe the question real quick. Okay, like let's say at the end of your caroling clip, right, and you were being approached by law enforcement, right?
Right.
You're being approached by law enforcement. Do you what platform banned you the fastest in what order for that clip, right? Like for the same content, you do that content on TikTok, you do it on YouTube, you do it on Twitch, you do it on Facebook, you do it on Kick, and you do it on YouTube Shorts. Who banned you in what order?
That's actually a good question. And like I said, I know my lane, and I ain't gonna lie, Andrew, I'm not really that familiar with moderation on other platforms. I just stream okay. You know what I'm saying? And go to sleep. But if I had to answer though, with the cops, I think number one, maybe TikTok. I mean, I think probably TikTok. Wait, for Twitch, can you get banned for having cops on stream on Twitch or?
I think whenever law enforcement starts to get involved on that platform, it gets dicey, man.
Oh, where's he? I don't want to know. I ain't on that. But yeah, probably Twitch after that, maybe YouTube Shorts. And look, I don't know. Like I said, I don't want to be streaming over there. So it's hard for me to kind of answer that. But
hey, I love that. Man, you just out here swimming in your own lane, just fucking not worrying about anything else. You're just locked in on the kick life. Hey, fuck it.
But don't get me wrong, though. It's one of my goals, though, to kind of get more involved in the politics of streaming and competitors and things of that nature. But I don't know. Like I said, I just kind of like to stay on my lane and worry about myself.
I'm not gonna lie. That tactic alone of just like sitting there and not worrying about all the technicalities of everything and getting caught up in like, hold on, if this, if that, what about that, hear about it's probably the right mentality to have. Like, there's so many distractions out there. Like we were saying before, live streaming's fucking hard enough as it is without having to worry about like all the 9 billion technicalities out there that you can start sort of looking into. So yeah, I think you're onto something there. I like that.
Aren't we on the rise of call out culture being like content now? Like there are now like call out creators, creators who just sit and pocket watch and call out all day, and that's their content.
That too. That was actually crazy if you think about it. Jeez, that's low-key crazy.
Mike, do you have a few more questions from your side? Kind of.
I have a lighthearted question for Andrew. I peeped your sauce, my guy. I always wanted to know your schedule on when, the mustache man grows the mustache. You grow it around a certain time of year, you shave it off. What's the thought process? Talk to us. How you grow it out? How long does it take you to grow it out? Do you condition the mustache? What's going on with the mustache man?
I think the mustache really comes and goes as much as I want to piss people off, right? Like I think once I have the mustache, then that's like dark Santa Maria, and then when the mustache goes, it's like it's like light Santa Maria. No. The mustache really goes when I can't eat food anymore from it, man. It's just it gets annoying as hell. It just it gets to be too much. But look, man, you kind of opened up the door for me really quick to talk about like some of the stuff in jest, man. Like, yeah, look, I think for some reason a lot of people assume that Kick is run by one person, which is completely not the case, right? I think in terms of moderation, like I probably haven't banned someone in about 14 months, man. Like been on that side of things, right? Now, am I across different things throughout Kick? Sure, but my focus really is on the Kick series programming. So I get put on different special projects, try to get them out the door, do it the best I can. The other thing is that, I put myself out there on streaming also, more so than a lot of other Kick staff. And I totally understand that comes with the territory. But when this narrative of, holy cow, Santa Maria verifies everyone, Santa Maria bans everyone, Santa Maria puts everyone on KCIP, Santa Maria decides who's on, like, what the hell? It's like, wait a minute. We have a massive staff, right? We have a featured team. We have a verification team. We have a partners team. We have a moderation team. And I think what we're running into is that Kick is growing exponentially. Like even today, if you look at it, like our tracker just keeps going up and up and up and ticking up. I think yesterday we hit like 350,000 average viewers. We just keep climbing. And as the platform grows, you hire on more people. There's people who weigh in on opinions. There's people who write procedure. There's people who write different things for other departments. And like, honestly, like I become lost in the sauce. Like smarter people start to come on to these departments that take this on because it becomes a giant department. Moderation is a giant department. Verification is a giant department. Yeah. Now we went from like 133 KCIP phase partners. Now we have over 3,000 KCIP participants. And to think that just one person locks in on that is bonkers. To think that one person just features, front page is bonkers. To think that one person just bans people is bonkers. But I also understand the leverage, right? I understand that when you put yourself out there and things aren't going a way that you want to, you start nailing certain people to the cross. So totally get that that's part of it. But the thing is that there's an ebb and flow to it, man.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there's definitely more pros than cons when, Kick staff's going live, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's good marketing, you can answer questions, but it's the other side, you're going to get into a little drama, you know what I mean? But it's all part of the process. I think it's kind of fun.
Yeah, and it'll all shake out because the thing is it's not like we just sidestep this stuff. It's kind of like, all right, how do we look at this internally? It's why Eddie put out a poll around moderation. Like, as departments grow, like, things start to even out. And I think that's what you're witnessing is just a maturation of a platform. And guys, like, look, it's not just like, shit, I remember the day where there was like just 8 of us like monitoring a platform with like 10 million people. And I was part of those days, right? Where it was kind of like where Kick was booming in terms of like, what went on the platform. But as we get bigger and as more people get hired on, like it's going to take an evening out of finding that balance. Not to mention like globally, like there's different shit that goes down in different parts of the world, man. Like there's definitely a shift that's happening in the States. There's a shift that's happening in Latin America. There's a shift that's happening in Europe. So, tracking all those different cultures and making sure that you are striking the right chord as you're booming, like there's always going to be rocky roads, but I don't take it personally when my name comes out of certain people's mouths that don't really know the ins and outs of what's going on. It just really becomes like convenient.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, it probably fuels you. I feel like you probably just sit back and just laugh it off.
Yeah, I think the community also understands it. I think, Dr. Beast Mode put out a really funny poster of a bad Santa mock-up, and you got to just lean into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
And just, it's part of the territory.
Into the head.
I didn't quite understand that one. What was the joke there, Andrew, on the bad Santa one?
Yeah, no, I think, with the heat that I'm copping, like he just put out like a movie poster. It's on my Twitter timeline.
That's funny as hell.
But it's like a bad Santa. Yeah, you as the elf is wild, man. You as the elf is wild, but
diabolical.
I think the curls on Eddie is freaking hilarious. And then,
but I didn't quite understand it. I haven't seen the movie. Like, what was it alluding to?
So yeah, I think it's just bad Santa. Like it's a movie about a Santa Claus that just can't get it together, man. He's just like an absolute drunk, and he's just a complete asshole, and he just like destroys everything in his wake. So, but it's actually a pretty good fucking poster.
No, it really is. I had to say that to the camera.
They're kind of implying that you're destroying Kick.
Yeah. It's the community leaning into the. And here's the other thing, like if you're on the internet, man, I think Abs said this pretty good in one of his clips that he was clipped off on, which was, if you're on the internet, you can't be soft, right? Like there's going to be shit thrown at you like crazy. I think another thing that you got to realize is that, you have a lot of alt accounts. So you have you have this one keyboard warrior that will create 20 like 5 followed accounts that's just out there, and they'll just jump in there and spam like crazy, right? I think you just have to take it all with a grain of salt. I think anyone that's experiencing this kind of level of stuff, you just got to like really dig into it and be like, all right, what really percentage of people are wilding out, and what percentage of people are just going about their day and just cooking on Kick, you know?
Yo, Andrew, I got some advice to you. So, well, not really advice, but yeah, kind of advice actually. I think like about 1 month ago, I just like realized that like Twitter or X rather had like kind of turned to shit, and I just stopped going on it. Like I don't get me wrong, I go on it every now and again if I kind of have to, but I just stopped using it because it just like full of so much fucking negativity. Like I'm not gonna lie, maybe this is like an unpopular take and people won't agree with me, but like it's just like crazy negative now. It's just full of like a whole bunch of like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like a waste of time, I reckon. Like I think that these new like free speech platforms, as much as everyone fucks with free speech, right? We love free speech, but you know, with free speech comes like bad, like, you know, sentiment, which I just don't think is why social media is fun, right? Like I don't get me wrong, free speech is cool, but you know, when you get these completely unmoderated websites like X is now, it just becomes fucking, I don't know. I like it. I like it, but it's not good for my mental state.
It's kind of cool though. Like, I kind of like X, but I see your point on that. Like, but I actually grew. X started to grow on me when I got on Kick. I realized like almost every Kick stream gotta have like a little, gotta have a Twitter. But I see your point though. Yeah, it can get toxic on Twitter for sure. But
I think X I think it's entertaining. Like I could spend hours on it going through all the bullshit. Like there's so many clips and stuff. Like, but I think like in terms of like the sentiment and like the messaging around it now, like there's just it just feels like there's I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's a healthy place to get your opinions from. I feel like since I stopped going on that app, my mental state and my clarity around situations is so much I think slightly better. That's my opinion. Again, whether you disagree with it or not, I think it's just like, you know, when you do open that whole freedom of speech sort of situation, misinformation and misleading sort of accounts and like Andrew, you said, like hundreds of alts and, you know, all this kind of like, you know, very much clickbaiting and stuff, it becomes like crazy. Like it's just like exponentially getting more and more full on. So I don't know. I feel like if you spend too much time on that app, it's gonna end up changing your worldview almost to an extent.
No, that's a good note, and it's a curated worldview. If you have someone who purchases 500 fucking alt accounts and starts swaying opinions and things of that nature. That's why I love live streaming, man, because you hear it from the horse's mouth in real time. Right? Like that's what I love about live streaming is that when you're talking about someone coming onto a platform and speaking their truth and building the community that they want, like in real time, like nothing gets in the way of a creator's opinion in their audience, right? So like, even a clip can get taken out of context and then posted, and then like all these opinions really cloud what really happened, right? But like in live streaming, like you're part of the full context of what went down. So that's why I really think live streaming is going to take over in a really big way, because it's direct. There's no filter, right? Even on Twitter and all these other social media platforms, there's some sort of filter and there's some sort of sway. But if you're in a live stream and you're hearing it in real time, you get the full breadth of what the intent is.
No, facts. I'm not gonna like just kind of change gears just a tad. It's one of my last questions too. I'm not gonna hold you. What's like the process like? Because I know when someone gets on Kick, boom, they become an affiliate, then verified, then KCIP. But like, what's the stage after that? You know what I'm saying? I heard about Kick deals. What's a Kick deal? And what are some of the things like Kick staff looks out for when they want to invest into a streamer to a different stage after the KCIP?
Yeah, so I guess before we had KCIP, we had like fixed contract deals. And I think this is what we're discussing further. We were talking about before, right? Like in terms of what creates a good incentive to keep people motivated. You know, one thing we've quickly learned is that like fixed contract deals kind of just lead to people getting a little bit less creative, not making the best content, getting kind of lazy. So we kind of moved away from those deals very much. And we really are leaning on the KCIP in a sense that, hey, look, KCIP gives you unlimited potential for earning. You know, as long as your viewership, your active viewership is growing, then it will continue to rise. And that's the most healthiest way to continue to incentivize people to go in the right direction. So, you know, as far as we're aware, it's the most competitive sort of pay by far on the internet in terms of live streaming. You know, we're talking multiples of 4 to 5 times higher per average viewer if you're on KCIP. So, you know, you've got the backbone there to build a community and do better and better and better. So we kind of moved away from that, but you know, there's still room for like custom stuff, I guess. But you know, I think yeah, too much sort of comfortability is the death of creativity. Someone in the chat mentioned just before about an hour ago. So we don't want to like guarantee payments. Like we say, okay, Mike, you're getting like, we're now giving you like $50 an hour or $100 an hour or $5,000 an hour, no matter what you do. Then like, fuck, like you're going to be like, shit, I'm just going to sit there and play GTA all day and fucking say 3 things an hour. You know, over time, like the human mentality, like, you know, the human condition leads to people kind of pretty much, you know, slowing down. So we've got to keep the incentives right. We've got to keep these deals structured in a way that promotes people to kind of, you know, hopefully keep their viewership higher. And that's something we're learning. So, you know, we really back KCIP. We think KCIP is the way to go. But I think, you know, in terms of like doing like special events and putting on like really cool productions and how Kick can support, like get behind that, where that be like prize money for like these competitions. Like I know that some of the other guys have been running, like I think Kick can support you with that. But I think in terms of like, you know, how you progress as a streamer on Kick, I think KCIP is the way forward, right? And then you know, naturally grow your audience, you naturally grow that hourly rate. You obviously start getting more subscriptions. You start building a larger community, which you can monetize through your own sponsorships. And that's kind of sky's the limit in that sense.
Okay. I feel that. Well, look, you know what I'm saying? I know SSB is lazy. Tell Aiden Ross when we slot to the SSB joint. That's my next good, you know what I'm saying? That's the next incentive for me, you know what I mean? I'm trying to see what the next stage is on the situation.
The SSBs?
Yeah. Well, you don't know who SSB is?
Yeah, it's all Aiden's friends, right?
Yeah, they all lazy. They don't stream enough. It's time for me to go over there and take that shit over.
I think they've been streaming a while, right? They've done quite a bit, but yeah. I'm just kind of trolling here, but no, I feel that. But those are my main questions, though. Sheesh, I don't think I got. Let me see.
Nothing from your chat, man.
Yeah, chat. Like y'all got any questions?
You can't leave anything hanging here, man, because like people start calling you out. Like once you leave and you're like, you know, people will come out of the woodwork and be like, hey man, you back down from this, or you didn't ask this, or blah 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 blah.
Oh my goodness, the pressure is high. It's one like chat. Seize the opportunity. We're talking to Eddie right now. You feel what I mean? We can't. We need a good saucy question though for me. Does Eddie like Latinas? I'm not asking if he likes Latinas. No. What is soft on these? Asking if they do the front. Okay, I think that's a question about front page. Maybe let me see. Ask them why don't. I don't see a lot of like.
It sounds like you face the same trouble like Andrew and I face when we're like asking chat for questions. We're like, fuck, it's complicated to find something that kind of has some substance.
Low key,
Kick at least.
Exactly, yeah. It's a lot of the same. I mean, like, I guess you can say about. I think I'll get this question all the time, but about the whole front page, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are some of the attributes you guys look out for when you guys decide to front page somebody? You know what I'm saying? Because I think the front page is always going to be controversial. But it's like, you know, what are some things you guys look out for? Y'all look for creativity. Y'all look for, you know, whatever the case may be. What do you guys look for when you front page somebody? And like, especially for the streamers that
it's changing a bit now. I think ultimately, right? I guess there's a few different opinions on this one. I think, different angles rather. You know, I think it's important that the front page like gives gives people a chance to be seen who normally wouldn't. I think that's a big opportunity because in live streaming, there's so many really great streamers that just haven't yet had their opportunity to make it big, right? And one of the biggest mandates for Kick, one of the most important key performance indicators for Kick is the amount of people who start streaming on Kick and become big streamers on Kick itself, right? They're not building their audience on another platform. They're you know, what we call homegrown Kick streamers who see success. You know, if we're able to identify someone who's got like a ton of like potential and then give them a little bit of visibility to kind of kickstart their streaming career, that's incredible. So we really try to do that. We try to find, you know, people out there who have what it takes to be a great streamer and give them a little bit of a helping hand by giving them some extra exposure. So that's important, right? Then, you know, second most important is you know, putting the big names out there, right? The people that are recognized, the people who make the best content, because, you know, ultimately when someone comes to kick.com, you know, we want to show people the best content. We want to show like, hey, look, what is the best of Kick? Like, what is going on here that's actually truly entertaining? Like, where are the viewers at? What are people fucking with right now? Let's put that on the front page because we want people to come to Kick and stay on Kick, right? So, you know, we also do that. You know, then I guess there's a rotation of streamers who have, you know, been with the platform a long time as well and you know, supported it. So of course, you know, we try to look out for them. I think, you know, obviously the phase 1, 2, 3 partners had a bit of love there for a while. But mostly it's two things really. It's two things. It's you know, is this person a big upcoming streamer that we can help support, make them homegrown, or two, is it just, you know, the content that's the most entertaining right now? I think that's kind of the most thing. Reality though, there's only like 9 slots, right? We rotate it twice an hour. So, you know, there is only realistically, you know, about 450 positions a day, which out of, you know, the whole entire website, it means most people aren't going to be showcased each day, right? Like it'll take on average, you know, once every 2-3 weeks to kind of get that opportunity. So we try to spread the love as much as we can, but it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, I can only imagine. And kind of like to piggyback off of what you said, and like I definitely understand the angle. You know, you see a streamer with potential, you put them up there, but like for the streamers that kind of constantly, you know, are up on the front page, how do you guys find that balance between just like, you know, like you said, phase 1, phase 2, you know, you guys just staying loyal, you know what I'm saying? You know, putting them on the front page, but like a lot of people might internalize that as like favoritism, right? So it's kind of like, how do y'all find out the balance between, you know, putting people on the front page on a consistent basis, but not come across as like favoritism?
Okay, so real quick on that, like, because the exact opposite happens with the phase partners. The phase partners come at Kick staff and they're like, why am I not on the front page? Why am I not being rotated? Why am I not going up there? Even a lot of the KCIP folks, right? Like, why am I not going up? Like, here's the thing. Like, one thing that I'll tell people is like, you cannot rely on the front page. You 100% cannot rely on the front page. Now, the thing is everything that Eddie said is like 100%. For me, man, like, I kind of agree with what Ice Poseidon said the other day, which is like, hey man, like, you know, the top streamers should be on the front page because we're making the most compelling content, right? But I also think that there's got to be a balance. So like for instance, like if you look at the front page currently, right? Like, I mean, we have Kick clips, you know, front and center. Like if you're never watching Kick clips, like this guy gives a history lesson in live streaming all the time. Right now, he's he's streaming our stream right now. But on any given day, this guy's walking you through the history of, like, let's say, you know, Ice Poseidon, or the history of Sam, or he's creating his own clips and putting it out there. And then obviously going into what Eddie was saying, like we got Ice Poseidon up there who is generating high level content, right? But then we also have, like, you know, Sun Jim, who no one's ever heard of. Look at this dude. Like, he's got like AR-15s up on his wall and he's working out. And he's got a fucking tackle dummy in his background, right? We got Forehead, who is new to Kick, right? And he comes in and he's bringing in his GTA crew. And then we got Bullet Bait 604, who I am not completely familiar with. And then we also have Trish Babe, who's rounding out like the features. And then we have our 2 casino that rotate. But But I think that this is a healthy balance of what Eddie just said, where it's kind of like top streamers, streamers who are putting in the work, like Kick Clips. Kick Clips produces his show on a daily basis. But here's the other thing, like Kick Clips isn't like a phase partner. Kick Clips isn't a beta, KCIP beta tester partner like you are. Sun Gym, I don't know if Sun Gym's even verified, right? Same thing with like Bullet Bait 604. So we really try to put it up a good mix. Now, for me personally, what I'm really focused on is a series. I'm interested in finding creators who want to put together a concept, carry that series arc over, and then that way, when we put someone on the front page, they're producing really good content at a really high level. So that's kind of been my focus as of late. But the marching orders that the feature team has is exactly what Eddie was saying.
Very intriguing. But no, I've always kind of wanted to know that. People always say, oh, favoritism this, favoritism that. But it's like, from my point of view, it just seemed like a pretty healthy balance. But it was definitely times where I would know it's the same person up there, what I'm saying, consecutively. I'm okay, what's going on here? But I'm glad I heard your point of view on that, though.
I think it's definitely, I think based on the previous system, I think it kind of switched up even 4 or 5 days ago, actually, a lot of the system. But yeah, I think we'll see a lot less repeat people on there where you kind of like, hold on a second, like this is kind of ridiculous now. So we've switched it up a bit. But it's always, that's the thing with Kick, right? It's kind of like guess, check, see what works, quickly iterate. Like the faster we can iterate, the faster we can, gauge feedback and work with that, the better. But I agree. I think, I agree with Andrew. I agree with Ice. I agree with you. I think it really comes down to like who's making the best content right now. Let's put it up there. Like it may be the same person is making the best content for a whole fucking week, then they deserve to be up there for a week. Like whoever's making the best content, just keep throwing it up there. That's what front page is about. It's not like you can just sit there and sit at your desktop for 10 hours and just expect to get a rotation constantly. Like, again, that's cool. There's no problem with that. But it's competition. Like, you got to compete with the people who are doing the best. I think that's the best thing for a front page personally. But to be fair, that's not how it's currently running. We do want to share some love to some like gaming streamers. Like, gamers are incredibly important for the platform too. So we got to like make sure that's kind of featured. But ultimately, I think, it should be like kind of almost like a free market for people's attention. And we should be supporting people that are, doing the best at keeping that. And we also have analytics behind that, right? We have analytics around like, okay, what's someone's average watch time? A lot of the people that you see up there a lot recently or previously were people who actually had really good retention time, right? So the streamers who like when they had people click into their stream, they stayed for long. Like the analytics around that, right? Our goal is to keep people on the platform for as long as possible. So some streamers keep their audience for a longer period of time as well. So, it is a big sort of player in that underlying sort of concept too. So, but yeah, we'll keep working on it. Did you get featured much, Mike?
I actually got featured during the Christmas Carol. I was like, okay, but that was my first time being featured on there in like months. Like, I can probably count on one hand. I've probably been on the front page 6 times in my whole Kick career. But like I said, like I never really stressed on it. I was just kind of curious, like, what attributes you guys kind of look for, when you guys throw people up there. But I mean, like I said, I don't be on there a lot, but when I am on there,
doesn't this negate the narrative in terms of favoritism, right? Like if you were our golden boy favorite streamer, wouldn't you be up there? Like fucking 20 days out of the month, like when bring you on to Kick Talk and like constantly got like, I mean, you out there doing your own thing, right? Like,
why not throw me on there 20 times though?
Exactly. Like, no, for real. Like I'm out here in hurricanes and I'm out here caroling and I'm out here getting knocked out in Fousey's stream. Don't I deserve the front spot? Like, so, I mean, you tell me, like, you're asking the question around favoritism, like you're reaping a lot of the rewards. Are you reaping the rewards because we're putting you up on a pedestal or because you're out there slaying it?
That's a really good point. And I was actually somebody in my chat, they said they asked about favoritism, but I think people confuse favoritism for more so, like you said, just working hard and you're going to get the rewards from it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's almost your goal as a streamer to kind of be favorited in a way, like work hard to kick they like you enough, like they like you enough to call you a favorite. So they, you know what I'm saying, they put you on the front page, do a kick talk, whatever the case may be. So I think that's kind of like the goal, is to work hard enough and be genuine and talk, you know what I'm saying, run shit up enough to where you are one of the kick's favorites, so they can start promoting you because you deserve it. So, I mean,
I think for me personally, man, at the end of the day, I think every creator has their own brand. And I think that they got to put themselves out there as much as possible. I mean, I'm saying this as a Kick staff member. Like, look, you're your own business. You're your own small business. I just think that you got to use all the tools that social media has rolled out for. It's never been like this. I mean, think about in the Vine days, man. Do you remember when Vine went down and it was like, what the fuck are we going to do? Like, where are all these people going to go? It's like half of them went to Facebook. The other half didn't even know what TikTok was just coming around. It was like, my point is that creators have so much more options now, right? The script has almost been flipped here. It's the reason why YouTube's not handing out contracts like they were, back in the day. My point in saying all that is, like, I think a creator, like, if you start relying too much on the platform, like, it could be a dead end for you. But if you start looking at what the world actually has to offer you, like, you can kill it.
That's the way to look at it. You got to branch out. But yeah, those are kind of. I'm trying to ask y'all questions from my chat, but like I said before, it's just kind of hard to weave out some of these ham questions and ask something with substance. Hold on, dog. Okay, so kind of piggyback off the front page, right? I've noticed that when people on the front page, especially that number one spot, like let's say they had, like, before they're on the front page, they had like 50 views. Boom. They're on the front page, boom, they go from 50 to 1,000, but in they chat, it's not, you know what I'm saying? I don't see anybody commenting. So like, where are these people? Like, are those, talk to me about that. Is that these like,
No, I'll tell you what that is. On the front page, it starts like automatically playing the video. Like if you're on a desktop and you're on kick.com, it'll start auto playing the video. And that counts as a view because someone's watching the video. So someone could like just be sitting on the front page and like letting it kind of like rotate through, and they'd be counting as a viewer for those streams. There isn't always that many people just sitting on the front page watching streams from there. Most people kind of click into it. So that's why the view count will increase immediately, because suddenly it's there's suddenly people just like who go to kick.com and they're counting as a viewer.
Okay, gotcha.
To piggyback on that, you'll notice, like, if you start scrolling through the carousel, like, those views go down lower and lower and lower, because when someone comes to kick.com, they'll spend a couple seconds, 10 seconds on the front page, but then they're off to another channel once they find what they're looking for.
Oh, yes. I've always wanted to know that. Okay, that's interesting. So people just be on the front page just chilling, not really. Okay. And it makes sense, though. Oh, so I said that. Well, listen, I'm not sure this is overstepping boundaries. But chat. Fuck, I'm asking. Fucking chat. Your Rage talking crazy on social media saying that he didn't get paid. What's going on with that? You didn't pay your Rage? He's down like 2 payments or some shit.
Nah, he got fully paid. I think he's got like this management team of sorts who like sent the wrong invoice like 3 times. Like they didn't send the correct hours, and we were like saying like, yo, you got to like send the right invoice with the correct details. That's all been resolved now. Of course, that would be fine.
Okay, good. Just making sure. Okay, word.
I think sometimes like the streamers just don't talk to their managers. I don't know how it works exactly. But it was all under control.
Okay, word. Yes, my chat was telling me to ask that, but yeah, I mean, y'all got any more questions? I'm trying to think. Oh no. Hold on.
Well, is there anything in our chat?
In our chat?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have one quick one. Eddie, from your point of view, or maybe even Andrew too. What department, in the Kick office, like what department do you feel like needs strengthening, right? Is it the, you know what I'm saying? Is it the engineers? Like, what department do you feel like needs a little more strengthening?
I think our product engineering side needs to grow out a bit. That's 100% the area we need to do a lot better on. And we are. I'm heavily involved in that area. Understanding exactly what's kind of going on, especially these last sort of 2 to 3 months. We got a lot of work to do there. But once that thing's humming along, it's humming along, and it'll be sweet. So. Give it a little bit more time. But outside of that, obviously, moderation, again, we talked about this a ton. Like, can that be better? Of course it can. But, but in order for the moderation team to do better, they need the right guidelines, right? We need to set the right guidelines, and update it. It's all a reflection of what we want the platform to be. So I don't think it's really on them. The moderation team are just doing exactly what they're meant to do. But hey, look, can we do better as a platform to kind of dictate what that looks like? Of course. I think from a production standpoint, there's a lot of room for us to kind of invest in that area. I think obviously right now we spend like a whole bunch of money, right? Kick kind of like spends this money on like giving people like crazy contracts and crazy opportunities and KCIP and all that kind of stuff. And I see a world whereby if we just invested some more time in actually working alongside creators to like invest that money could go a long way. Like I think there's a lot of there's so many great examples of streamers who have been given, whether it's tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars or even millions, and they just don't know how to effectively spend that to create incredible content. And I think there's a world where we can assist them in properly investing that in a smart and savvy way. Like I think most of the time these guys just don't know how to properly price things up and get the right value for money almost. So I think there's a lot of world in which we can kind of support people to be able to make the most of that without having to I see some of the stuff that goes on with some of these larger streamers and they kind of like end up spending like a crazy amount of money for something that's just not worth it. It's like, holy fuck, how did you end up in this situation? Like, can we assist to ensure that's better spent? So, onto that kind of what Andrew's speaking about in terms of like how we can get more involved in the production side. I think there's a huge opportunity there to helping to create the best content on live streaming at the most effective rate for streamers and sort of assisting in that. But that's kind of complicated because everyone has their own way of doing stuff. But yeah, I think there's something there. What else? To be honest with you, everything needs to do better, man. Like we still young, we still like 2 years old. Like shit, we got so much to learn. Like
crazy.
Nothing's perfect here, that's for sure. But is it getting better? Hell yeah, it's getting better every day. Is the trajectory looking good? Yep, it is. Is it is people learning? Are we bringing more talented people on board? Are we kind of understanding where we want to go? That's for sure. So I don't know. We just got to keep on keeping on, man. That's the way I look at it. I think with the right mindset, with the right outlook, with the right vision, as long as we keep doing right by creators, we'll continue to do better and better and better.
Hey, Mike, real quick, just to add on what Eddie was saying, as far as like backing creators that have good ideas and things of that nature, like look at what happened at Off Brand, right? I don't know if you're familiar with Off Brand, but that's Ludwig's production company. And I think just like 2 days ago, he had to announce that he was letting go of, or the Off Brand team had to let go of their event side, right? They had to let go of you're talking about a guy who was doing chess boxing and like Streamer Olympics and, these really big events, right? Like Mr. Beast, inspired type of content. And it's tough to get a bag of money and then figure out how you're going to spend that effectively, right? Even for the most seasoned creators. So it's tough out there, man. But not to say that there isn't a way that you can start doing it right,
I feel that. Okay, gotcha. And
real quick, because Eddie's out in Australia, so I want to check in with him, man. It's probably getting to be like 3 or 4 in the morning for him over there.
It's not too bad. It's 3:20 a.m. I don't know. Was there anything else, Mike, from your side?
I think I'm good. I mean, y'all got anything else for me, or?
Huh?
Y'all got any more questions for me, or y'all good? Chat. Oh, wait. Let me see my chat. I got one last question, I guess. Chat wants to know, because way back in the day, I actually remember this as well. Way back in the day on Kick, I remember when, you were streaming and you know what I'm saying? before you would get banned, you'll get like a warning, right? But I noticed Kick doesn't really do the warning shit no more. They just boom, ban off rip. What kind of happened with that? Did y'all just say, we're losing patience now? Now you just get banned off rip. You know what I'm saying? What was like the thought process on that and how y'all changed that up?
I think it depends on the section and the ban reason, right? I think, like, for example, DMCA, like if you're streaming something that breaks our DMCA policy or you receive a DMC takedown request, we'll do our best to be like, hey, look, switch up quickly and, change your content. So we'll still give warnings around that. That's for sure. I think like the pool section, there was a period in time when we were kind of like changing policy. Yeah. And we're like, all right, well, we'll give people kind of like a warning to do X, Y, and Z because things were shifting.
Okay.
But, when it comes to stuff like, a lot of these more serious things, like whether it be like kind of like hate speech or all that kind of stuff, like I don't think there's really warnings there. You can't be like, by the way, you can't, once it's been done, it's going to be done. So I think, there's differing levels of banning, right? And I think the reasons come in there. Like some stuff you can't really undo. Like if we can, like I think as a moderation team, like the best outcome for the platform, right? Like we don't want to ban people. Fucking hate banning people. It sucks. Like if you ban someone, we've got less traffic, less people on the website, less people streaming. It's bad. It's negative. It's a lose-lose situation. So, ultimately banning people should always be like the last resort. Like if you can de-escalate a situation to be like, hey, look, do X, Y, and Z because that's, better. That's our first point of call. That's for sure. So I think we'll always take that opportunity if it's there. But sometimes, unfortunately, like once something's said or done, like it can't really be changed. So, action subsequently needs to be taken. But it's a good point. I think no matter what, we should always strive to remedy a situation rather than, just cut to a ban. A ban should always be kind of like last resort. But I think it's a good point. I might need to check in a bit more in terms of like how we're kind of managing that. But, the more situations we can do where we're like, hey, look, switch up your content, change this. I think that's the best way to approach it for sure.
Gotcha. Boom. Yeah, I've always wanted to know that. But I appreciate you offer your perspective on that. But yeah, that was my last question there. I don't think I got anything else here. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, Mike, man, it's been a pleasure to speak, and really appreciate you. We're waking up pretty early. Where are you on the East Coast, right?
I'm in Florida. I'm in like the South, South. I'm in Florida, but I woke up. I was low-key tired as hell. I ain't gonna lie. I had a long night last night, but what I'm saying, it was definitely an honor. I appreciate you guys taking your time out today to yap it up with me for sure.
No, I really appreciate it. I think, obviously big, thank you for what you've been doing on Kick and you're out there doing some crazy shit and, we want to keep supporting you. I sent you that message on Discord, so I want to hear those ideas you were talking about before and see we can bring something to life. Yeah. So, it does mean a lot having you here and keep pushing that creativity and keep representing the brand and going out there and doing everything you do because it's it goes without saying that we are see you as a valuable partner and even having you here on Kick Talk kind of bringing up some really valid subjects. It's been great.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Got me all emotional. Man. Eddie out here rocking with us, man. The Get Off Community Strikes gang on crazy, man. But look, I appreciate it. it, man. God bless. And keep doing what you got to do on Kick. Let's get this thing rocking. Take it out of beta. Get the API out, whatever the fuck that is. Call it a day, right? Call it a day.
The API, whatever the fuck that is. Yeah, we're going to get that out. Don't worry. It's happening. All that shit you mentioned, that's the easy stuff. That consider that done. Okay. And the rest, it's going to come down to the hard stuff. The hard stuff is out there doing the stuff you do, the crazy content, the stuff that truly drives in viewers. That's you guys, the actual streamers, that you guys got the hard part. Kick is a platform. Yeah. We just gotta kind of show up and be on parity.
Yeah, you preaching. But that's love, man. Appreciate it. Devin's in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody, tuning in, rocking with us. But
hell yeah, Mike. Hey, Merry Christmas, man. Thanks for joining, man. Got to get more of that caroling out there, man.
Hey, part 2 might be coming soon. You hear me? But hey, man, God bless, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right. See you later, Mike. Have a great day.
All right. By the way, you guys are horse boys. Bye.
What's horse boys?
What's a horse boy? I don't know.
What does that mean?
We're gonna find out later, man. We're gonna fight. it's part of it. He's farming us, man. He's farming us. That's probably the only reason he came on to TikTok was to throw out that last line.
What's it mean though?
I don't know. Chat, what's horse boy mean?
We're not getting any responses. Anyway, hey, big shout out to Mike. That was awesome. That was good. That was a good TikTok. It was good. It was a good little segment. I think Mike's out there doing some pretty interesting stuff. I think a prefacing that with the clips, I think was a good way to kind of lean in. I think it's maybe that needs to be a new part of the TikTok segment. Whoever the guest is, get a few of their most viral moments to kind of almost like summarize what their kind of live streaming and content world kind of looks like from almost like a 2-3 minute sort of recap. It was kind of cool. I like that.
Hell yeah. It was good. I mean, he's got plenty of content out there, man. Like, I guess a lot of the people that we've had on has, different type of content, but this guy seems to be hitting all the right, getting articles and, clip farmers and just getting himself out there in different media spaces, which is hard to do. Most people just get it like they'll get clipped and it lives on Twitter, right? But this guy kind of transcends into other spots, which I find very interesting.
Yeah. No, very. I think definitely a sign of the evolving kind of like live streaming world, right? I think if you're not kind of leaning into those opportunities to market yourself, as you're mentioning before. It's how you've got to promote yourself. I think that's the thing. There's also a lot of discussion around sort of the front page and how that kind of ties into everything. I think like the front page compared to properly being able to market yourself through all these other avenues such as clipping and how you can kind of like get the virality out of that. It's kind of like a really small drop in the ocean. I think that's truly the opportunity that if people are looking to build out that exposure, to kind of focus on how to kind of follow in a little bit of what Mike's done and create that viral content that subsequently drives in viewers from off platform and all over the internet, to your channel. I think that's where you truly build out that proper community. So, I
mean, this guy's playing chess, right? Like, he's creating his own front page in essence, right? By producing his own content, getting clips out, getting articles out. It doesn't come easy, right? Like he's earning it, but this guy's creating his own front page.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good way to put it. It's literally creating your own front page, your own sort of visibility, your own way of driving traffic, right? Why expect or wait for uncertain sort of variables to come into play when you can kind of go out there and get it yourself? So, yeah. Anyway, interesting way of looking at stuff.
How you feeling, man? Time to wrap it up. Say goodnight.
Yeah, I reckon it's pretty loud. Unless there's anything in chat that comes sticks out as worth very quickly touching base on. But yeah, I get conscious as it kind of gets past 3 a.m. My cohesiveness goes rapidly down.
Yeah, maybe one or two real quick. I think look, we got this one guy, Oda PR manager, who comes into a lot of our chats a lot. He says just, ask the mod team to back off a little because what his opinion is a lot of people are heading over to Twitch and YouTube because of ticky-tack things.
Yeah. The moderation side, I think we've got the ability to make the changes, right? We've got the ability to make the changes. We were talking about this before when Mike asked, like, which department needs the most, like, work or the most help. I think the moderation team can really enforce whatever the platform wants it to enforce. I think the team's great in that sense. Obviously, if we wanted to change tack and go, we want to loosen moderation in certain areas, I think we could very easily do that. I think it also comes back to, what I said my opinion was, I think, personally, I think Kick's maybe a little bit harsh on some areas whilst too soft on others. I think it's just about finding that balance, which is always going to be hard. But at the same time, it's crazy, right? Because, obviously people either complain that you're never going to please everyone, right? Like everyone's it's difficult. And I think, at some point, maybe Kick needs to be a little bit more definitive on where it wants to stand. Like, does it want to appease like this audience or does it want to appease that audience? I think, for a long time, Kick kind of tried to play all sides of the field, which is hard to do. You ultimately can't do that. You got to like kind of stick to one side or the other, right? But I think we can keep having stabs at trying to find that balance. I think we can continue to do it. I don't think any platforms found the magic recipe to figure out. We're talking like how does all the other platforms compare? I don't think anyone's really figured it out in terms of how to strike a perfect balance when it comes to moderation. But I think we've got the opportunity and the fact that the business is so young. And it's so easy to make change. We have the ability to iterate so quickly around these moderation stances that we have that advantage in which I think we can look to try to find the best way to not have the platform be known for all the wrong things whilst also allowing for really fun and interesting content to live on and survive whilst not, banning people for silly and unnecessary reasons. So, does out of all platforms, which has the best opportunity and the best resources and the best position to make those fast-paced changes to the moderation policy to support the platform? I think it is Kick. So I think we should lean on that more and continue to try to find that balance. But it just means obviously tinkering with certain areas and finding out where it's best to stand. But it's an ongoing problem, right? I think it'll never be perfectly solved.
Yeah, man, it evolves every 6 months, man. I think, in my opinion, I mean, how many times does this pendulum kind of swing? And I think as long as we're willing to put ourselves out there and listen to the community, we can keep adapting.
Yeah, iterate quickly. Iterate quickly is I think the fastest way to go.
Cool, man. Yeah, I think. Look, I think we should wrap it up, man. It's getting late.
Too easy. No, it's been good. Is Mike live right now?
He's gotta be.
I think he is. Yeah, let's give Mike a host here, guys. Hey, thank you everyone for tuning in. It's been good. It's been good. Episode 23 here. Andrew, as always, appreciate you getting this all organized and organizing this chat with Mike. That was really great. Thank you to all the people tuning in, guys, as well. I see, as always, a whole bunch of verified people, a whole bunch of people citing a whole bunch of really useful insight and opinions. It's been good. Moderators as well. Thank you for keeping things relatively under control. It's always refreshing to have a nice, healthy chat. But yeah, we'll be back. We'll be back next week as always, right? Episode 24. We'll see what's going to go down there, but I think these longer chats with just say one or two guests have been going pretty well. So I think we'll probably continue this trend, right?
Yeah, it lets us dig in, man. It's nice.
Yeah. Cool. All right, guys, we're going to host Mike here. Show him some love. He's just been on Kick Talk. Big supporter of Kick here. Big shout out to Mike. Show him a bit of love, guys. If you haven't followed him already, give him a follow. Check him out. He's definitely making some waves. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you next week if you choose to drop by. Same time as always.